since it wrapped? It started filming like the
I
next
think so.
day. So 2 months into it, how much Kathy Hilton are we going to get? What, we're going to see her in episodes like 11 and 13? Like, I don't understand. She's not filming. She
Yeah,
hasn't filmed at all.
I think she's smart. I mean, listen, sorry for us because we'll miss her because she was a fun part of the season, but she's got her own thing. I can't imagine that. I could see her saying, if I'm going to do it, you're going to pay me what I deserve to be paid, like everybody else, if I'm this popular, and this is why a lot of people are tuning in to watch. But ultimately, I don't think the money is going to make it or break it for her. I think it probably is her schedule and her life, and she's got a show that she's doing with her daughter now. You think that if she's thinking about what's more important to her, whether it's Paris or doing Housewives, she's going with Paris.
She's going with Paris. I think she's a big part of why the show got greenlit. I mean, it would have got greenlit anyway. I mean, it's Paris. I don't think that, but having Kathy come right off this huge fan thing with the Housewives, it's like Paris in Love has been great so far.
I have to watch it. I haven't seen it. Is that a Peacock show too?
Yep. See, aren't you happy you joined Peacock?
Yeah. Donnie was like, what is this, Peacock now? And I said, yes, I have to get it without the commercial so I can save time. And I had no idea.
They're not playing around, but it's lighthearted. They're doing a wedding. It's Paris. Nikki's in it.
Okay.
Her fiance. Kyle makes an appearance. It's
okay. How many episodes?
I think we're on like 6 now or 7, but I don't think it's a lot. Add it to your list, but that's it. That's all I've heard. Kathy is not filming, and I just don't think she's going to film. And it's going to be, Dorit's going to be a lot about the home invasion. That's part of Dorit's stuff.
Yeah.
And Sutton has come out and said, like, I don't know what's going on with Sutton and Erica, but Sutton said something like, it wasn't like I forgive her. It wasn't, but it was something that just alluded to the fact of, like, let's see how it all plays out. And people were like, oh, Sutton, don't. Like, right.
Don't roll over.
Don't, right. Because Sutton, she's probably like, okay, listen, absence makes, like, you forget things over a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Not like that. Not when someone calls you a bitchy F and C. No, you don't. Sorry.
You haven't forgotten it, Kathryn.
And it's been how many years? I don't like that. And clearly she doesn't either.
Do you think when it comes back and when Erica has this better edit, which will still deal with what's going on, but she'll have a better edit, do you think people will not forget everything? Or do you think some people, not most, I'm not saying most, but do you think some people out there across the world will start to soften on their Erica hate?
Well, I think they could, but I think you have to ask yourself, what do you need to see that's going to soften the Erica hate? She has to give you something to like. So she has to open up, be kinder, be sweeter, not be such a raging, teeth snarling biatch. And then maybe people will start to like her again. If she continues with the same personality that she had on last season, no, I don't, even if they don't talk one word about Tom Girardi and the victims, no, I don't think that they will forget about it. No. Mm-mm. She's going to have to almost like save puppies or, walk old people across the street, or she has to do something that's endearing.
Do you think that she doubled down at the reunion, right? Which was now what, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, she filmed it. Do you think any of this has like sunken in and she is going to come back and try to change her image? Or like forget about editing? No.
I think she will try to be softer. I do think she's going to try to be softer. I think she's had a big piece of humble pie served, and whether she I think when she was in the season and the reunion and everything, she was so in the middle of it. And I think that, as you and I spoke before, she's a survivor. So she just knows how to put her fists up and fight back and, and call names and, tell people to shut the F up. And that's her, who she really is. I do believe that. But I think now in hindsight, and then probably even with a lot of it dying down and she's not in the tabloids every day again, yeah, I think she's going to come back softer and she's going to really try to have a softer approach. For sure, I do. But I don't know. She can also be very boring, because what is she? Who is she then?
I don't know what she has going on in life per se.
No, I don't either.
She did post at one point. Now, I don't know what has happened with this, but she did post a picture and it was her like kind of black and white, like grayed out, but it was her on stage. And I don't know if it's still up, and it said like hashtag coming soon. So the way that I took that, and I don't know how you could not take it. I'm like, is this bitch going to go back on a Pretty Mess tour? Like, is she hitting the road for money?
Listen, she could go and play the whatever in LA, in West Hollywood, and they could film there. I mean, come on.
Excuse me, let me correct this. It was on November 11th, and it is not so great out. It's her on a stage, and it says, it's time.
Okay, so she's going to perform for the show. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. They'll go to some place in West Hollywood. Yeah. I mean, and that's great. That's great. She didn't lose her entertainment value of when she gets up on stage and gets the costumes on and has the guys dancing in the background. She can do that again. And if the Bravo wants to pay to put that back out there, and maybe that was like their way of saying, hey, we're going to bring you, the old you, back and give, Erica Jane a time again. Great.
I think if there is a tour, people are going to go. I mean, if you think about 100%. It, if this goes across the US, she will sell tickets. There will be money. So I'm not knocking it. It's kind of a smart business decision.
Well, someone's got to pay for that though. And I don't think Bravo's going to pay for her to go on tour. No. I think they'll pay for her to do shows in LA so they can film it. Just like the same way that they pick up the check at a restaurant when the whole cast is there, because they're filming it. And, in a place like that in West Hollywood, they're probably not even charging. They're just saying, hey, come in, we'll let you film here. This is great for us. They're charging a door fee. They're probably not paying her. And it's just what, I don't know. I mean, that's what I think. Because I know other small level musicians that have played all over in Los Angeles trying to make it and everything. And, you can go and do these things for not a lot of money, and she'll have a huge turnout in West Hollywood.
Maybe that's her storyline, that she'll be getting over it. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm saying the majority of the people watching will not forget that there are victims. Like, this isn't going to be like, waking up for a dream. But I think if she's coming back with that and the producers are angling that, I think there are some small percentage that by the end of the season, some people it'll be more split. It won't be like 99%. What point it'll be like 90%, and there will be some people that are softening on her. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying this is what's probably going to happen. This is my prediction. And
unless like some news comes out and there's a settlement, or there's something that's found out, or they go to court and that gets played out,
it's not going away. That's for sure.
No, it's not going away. That I mean, and granted, well, who knows how long they can drag it out for, but she'll have the season to do the Erica Jane probably, and that kind of thing, and it'll be good for her. And and she deserved it with what she went through on last season's show. Come on.
I think the beginning is a lot about, it's going to be Dorit and her home invasion. And did you see the videos that were being sent around? I did.
You mean of the guys breaking the glass? Yeah. Do you not believe it?
I was going to say, now, before we get into my opinion, there are still
Hold on one
lots
second.
of people.
I'm listening. Yeah.
I like see your dog in the background. There are still, no, I mean, listen, I never said I didn't necessarily believe it. I just said nothing shocks me in what people will do to stay on reality TV. This is like, I know things, all franchises. I've heard the most insane things that people will do. So, but I believe it's real, but I have to tell you that there are not everybody believes it's real. There's plenty of people that don't, even after watching the videos.
I believe it's real. I don't think that they did that. And I also,
Right. I mean, I believe it's real too.
Yeah. Based on the amount of crimes that are happening all over in LA, it's happening every single night. And anyone that is, you know, a celebrity or a little high profile and someone knows where you live, you have to be on guard. And I mean, the fact that they didn't have an alarm on to me is mind-boggling. I don't understand that at all.
Yes. Yes and yes. I mean, look, there are people that are way more famous and way more rich than Dorit that don't have what she has in her closet. I mean, listen, you know, there's a lot of celebrities that are just not into material, you know, they're about the work. Like you look at some celebrities' houses and you're like, oh my God, like, you know, you're just like boho and like, you don't care. Like you are there for the art, man. You have $1 trillion, but like you just don't, your mind just doesn't think like that. I mean, you know, I'm sure when it comes to food and like massages and things, you treat yourself, but you don't say like, I need every Louis. So I just think, I believe it's real because it's not that hard to watch and to say like, this is a target now, like we have the show on, right? Well, what were we going to say?
Well, there was I just saw in the New York Post, I think 2 days ago, they had a picture of Adam Sandler walking down the street and it said, and he's just like in sweats and tennis shoes, looking a little disheveled, but very Adam Sandler. And it said, he's worth $450 million, but he dresses like any Joe Schmo. And true, I think that's because there's a real craft there. There's a real talent there. When your craft or your talent is just to be beautiful and dress up and wow people and put on a show visually, you know, that's kind of your ticket. And so, you know, especially when you live right on the street, I was shocked to see that the house didn't, I mean, that little gate, like, come on, why would you not have your alarm on? You're not in a gated community. Anyone can hop over that wall or whatever. The house is right there. I mean, there's a wall and you see the house right there.
Living in a house scares the hell out of me, no matter where you live.
Oh
I mean, Iowa, Kansas, that to me is the movies, the suburbs, when I love having a doorman and if I live somewhere else, I would live New York style anywhere. Like, you know, all the places that have even LA has, you know, Sierra Tower.
You see my hall back here? We're in San Diego. This house is like huge, but it's a gated 24/7 armed community. And and then our property is gated again.
That's how like I've stayed with, like I visited some of the OC housewives. A lot of them are behind like a gate. So that wouldn't scare me. But short of being in a gated community, I would just literally be scared. Just of anything, not even like a robbery, just if some crazy person, you know, like when you read about the murders in the neighborhood, that shit scares me.
I would honestly right now in Los Angeles, and it breaks my heart to say this, if I just lived in a neighborhood without gates and all that, I would really truly be afraid. I would have my house so locked and alarmed, and I'd probably I'd have some type of like razor wiring. So I don't know, I would scare the bejesus out of me too. There's so many in-home invasions going on right now. It's awful.
It's scary. Well, if you have nothing else do you have anything else to say about Beverly Hills? Because I was going to say, you want to talk about Potomac?